Welcome back to Chasing Pep, episode 10. Things have been going swimmingly since you last saw us play against Southampton and we got that comfortable win. We went through January unbeaten. I just thought then when I looked that we lost in the FA Cup, but we did not. Why have I left this TV on? One sec. All right. Um, Not only unbeaten through January, but we did not concede a league goal all through January. So things have we've hit that point in the season now where with this new style, the guys have fully embraced the system. Now they're up to familiarity on everything except for position roles and duties because some of these guys don't fully know how to play halfback and things like that. The ball playing defender and then the wing back. But I mean, you've seen the style's been fully adopted, and we are somehow, and I did not anticipate this in the first year, playing with that Barcelona level of dominance where we are just stroking teams aside. So we beat Southampton 2-0 as you saw. We drew against Stoke at home in the third round of the FA Cup when we rotated basically everyone. The worst result possible to get that extra game and that replay in. And Stoke, by the way, have been second, third in the league for a good portion of the season so far. Played West Ham at home next, and it was a comprehensive hammering. We beat them 4-0. Lukaku with the hat trick. He's just been sensational since he's taken over with the team. Then we went away to Stoke. We beat them 2-1. Brilliant result in the third round of the FA Cup in the replay. Away from home, as I said, they've been right up there at the top of the league, and we again rotated as much of the side as we could. Then played them away in the Premier League and beat them again 2-0. Another goal not conceded, which at the time of playing that was a top of the table clash. They were second, we were first. Fourth round of the FA Cup, breeze 3-0. A couple from Rashford and an own goal. Played Bournemouth at home, another comprehensive win. This one was one of those ones that I think we're going to have to get used to as the AI start to suss out how we're playing. We're now seeing a lot of five at the back, either just a flat back five or playing what's really a 3-5-2, but with the wing backs and just really defensive setups when we're at home. So it's going to get more and more tough to break these sides down. They're kind of allowing us possession, kind of the way people played City this season. Teams like Southampton and so on, when they played against City, just allow them to have the ball and try and break, or not even try and break, just don't let them break us down and maybe nick one on from a corner or free kick or something. But we were able to break the deadlock with Berardi in the 74th minute, and then Paul Pogba continuing his great form with an 80th minute goal. Play Chelsea away the following week at Stamford Bridge, 0-0. I'll take that. Very even game. We didn't create an awful lot, to be honest. Neither did they really. So it was just kind of one of those dead rubber games. So you play away against top six sides, you'll take a 0-0 result, I guess. And then hammered Leicester at home 4-0, 4 from Romelu Lukaku. He has just been unbelievable, really. Ever since we switched up this look to have that complete forward, shoot less often, ease off tackles, move to channels, and all these hold up balls, dribble more risky passes, run from positions. That is all the false nine stuff anyway. So it's false nine stuff with moving to channels and shoot less often on. If this was Dybala or someone or Neymar who we may hunt, or even Messi for that Messi role, he'd be the only guy I'd probably allowed to shoot more often. Those guys. But yeah, he's just been sensational. He kind of roams around, he comes deep, he hangs on the back of the shoulder. He's been way more than I thought at the start of the season. I was thinking, this guy does not fit at all. Sanchez will play in the middle. Eventually, we'll move Lukaku on, but he's just been absolutely tremendous. As you can see, we closed out January. We didn't do any business. I thought about doing some business, but we decided against it. Nothing really came up. We let Marcus Rocco go. He wasn't playing. Got some money for him. Angel Gomez went out on loan as well. We had offers for Pogba. We had offers for Herrera. Who else did we have offers for? Blint. We had offers for. We had offers for Luke Shaw. I just thought things are going okay. We'll do kind of the major restrictive stuff in the summer. Though having said that, there's not going to be as much as I thought there would be after the first season. I made some inquiries. I went for the big guns. I went for Dybala. I went for Neymar. Obviously, no chance. I also looked at Gareth Bale. He doesn't really fit exactly what we'd need. He doesn't fit perfectly into the tactic. But if you think of those old school Barca teams that we're trying to replicate, if this is trying to be Pedro, dropping Gareth Bale in for Pedro is not a far more technical player than Gareth Bale, and Bale would be able to produce way more magic. The only issue with a Bale transfer is one, age and injuries. But the main thing being, it just would take away from the things we really need to buy to improve the side, being, I think, world-class halfback. Although Matic has been pretty brilliant in fairness. Another wing back, another centre half, and then another Iniesta Xavi type in here. More of the, I think, the Xavi role than the Iniesta role. And then if we're gonna spend big money on a forward player as good as Lukaku's been, it would probably be to get a true false nine type player in there. So that's the only concern with the Bale transfer. But as I said, things have been going brilliantly. There's not even any need or concern to look at transfers. We're into the fifth round of the FA Cup. I'm not that fussed about that. The Champions League, I'm not that fussed. We got this terrible draw against Juventus that we'll play today. Really, it's all about the league, and the league standings are sensational. 11 games to go. 6 points clear of Liverpool, as I say all the time, following that Pep mantra. Don't lose the league in the first 8 games, be in position to win the league in the final 8 game sprint. We've got 11 games to go, so we're right on course right now. And if you look at our goal difference, we have just been throttling people at home. I obviously I've seen it, I've played every game, but the numbers are jarring. We lost once. That was Watford. That was the first game of the season, was it? I think it was the first game of the season. It was when I was a little bit panicky about how this thing may go. So since the first game of the season, we've won every single game. Not even one of those shitty draws where, as I said, teams are sitting deep like that Bournemouth game and you can't break them down. Look at all the nils in here as well, with a couple of goals conceded in hammerings of Liverpool and Burnley. 39 goals scored, 3 against. That is wild. And one was in the 1-0 defeat, and then 2 in games where we thumped people. So that is where we're winning the league right now, just hammering people at home. The away record, not as good. Still best in the league, apparently. But look at the goal, if it's just +5. Goal difference is really the be-all, end-all of telling if your team's actually playing well. But yeah, so 3 defeats, 4 draws. The draws are actually not bad. Away at Chelsea, away at Arsenal, away at West Ham, away at Southampton. I didn't hate that. The defeats, who do we have? Those aren't great defeats. But some good wins in there. The City win, Newcastle, Spurs, good wins in there as well. So today's games, we will play Juventus away in the first leg of the Champions League. Then I will play offline the Leicester game, and we'll play City at home in the second derby with the new man in charge. After we saw last episode, that Pep got fired, they did indeed go for Carlo, who looks as shocked as everyone else in this picture right here. So Carlo, we will play you later today. But first up, we will take on Juventus and Massimiliano Allegri away from home, and just about as bad a first round draw as we can get. As I said, really the second and third years, the ones where you go after the Champions League I will go after the Champions League when I've got the squad that I really want. De Ligt can't play today, that stings. He's been so brilliant. But we'll bring Lindelof in. I'm going to put a keeper on the bench for Champions League games because it's just one of those one-off anomalies, something bad's going to happen. If I want, I'm going to go with Lingard over Berardi for this game. Although Berardi's been in great form. Oh, it's tough. It's a good problem to have. Oh, we actually have really good depth. Martial, we have much better depth than I would have envisaged early in the year. And this is the kind of size of squad I like as well. Maybe I'd take 2 guys out. I like having a smaller squad with guys who can play a bunch of different positions, which is why replacing guys like Blint and Mata, guys who can play everywhere, that might hurt. Let's tell them to pick up where you left off. We are away in Turin. Oh, it's a big Champions League night. Can you feel it? I can feel that. I can't remember which one I had this on to make it not be so jiggity. I feel like it was 1-up. Let's try 1-up for now. Oh, is this the one where you can't even see the game? It goes too fast. So we've come into Turin with dominating possession. I like that. I just want a goal. I would take a 1-1. I would take a 2-1 defeat. Just give me the away goal. That's what I'm after. Okay, Matic. Can you find someone? No. Pjanic, one of the guys I'm chasing. Right, I do want to put this on. Slow it down a bit. Oh, that's even faster. You dope. They've got players that I am chasing. They got Dybala, who I want. They have Pjanic, who I want. We took Alexandro already. Oh, that's a good ball. Mandzukic, can you roll it across? Great point-blank save from De Gea. Fantastic save. There was an offside flag. I don't know if that was for the first ball or the second ball. We're playing with Ashley Young as well, who has been one of... Oh, no. Ashley Young has been one of the finds of the season. Oh, well, that's a big injury. Rashford's been in better form, I would say, than Martial. So I'll bring Rashford on. That's a biggie. because Sanchez has had an unbelievable season for us. Way, way, way better than I thought. I thought we'd put him in that false nine role and he would either get kicked out of the team or would struggle and we'd go and get a Dybala or someone and probably sell him after the second season and thrust him out left. But he's been absolutely everything to us, unlocking the game with great passing, just creating all kinds of things in the final third, which is why he's at the club, making 500 grand a week or whatever it is. Okay, a boring first half. They had the only chance. We have been dominating possession. Let's say unlucky boys. Things haven't quite gone right so far. You imagine walking into a room of professionals who are like in their mid to late 20s or 30s and saying unlucky boys. I would feel so patronized. Things haven't gone quite right so far, but we can do it. That's so uninspiring. Just tell me what we've done well. Tell me what we've done poor. Tell me how we can do better. Tell me something you see in the opposition. But for some reason, these guys, according to Football Manager, when you walk in and say, boys, you've been so unlucky, they actually gain motivation from that, which is beyond absurd to me. Okay, we've made it to the hour mark. What I don't want is one of those shitty 1-0 European nights where you're still in the tie, but you don't have any advantage if they nick a goal when they get back to your place. It wrecks the tie. Let's make a move. I'm going to bring on Berardi. Lingard hasn't had a great game. What is there? I never go in analysis in games, but it's a big European night, so maybe this is worth it. I also don't really know how this is going to help, but I'm trying to see. They're playing... Does it not tell you how their fullbacks play? They're playing deep? Is that what that's trying to tell me? This is average position, right? Because I'm trying to think. They're narrow. I was going to say if they're wide, I would move to the inverted fullbacks. But given that they're narrow, that looks narrower than us, then I will leave them as is. Let's go, boys. Someone do something. Let's bring Matic and do something magical. When you lose Sanchez, you really lose someone who can just do something out of nothing. Art hasn't really reached that point yet. He kind of scores team construct goals and makes some decent passes. He hasn't really created brilliance out of nothing, so it's up to Pogba and Mata right now. Oh, good hit from Matic. Didn't expect it to come from you, sir. He's a really interesting one for the long term because I had my heart set on, I almost said Fernandinho then. I meant Fabinho. And I've been chasing him and courting him and sending him all kind of flirty media stuff about how I really want to get you. And he's interested, but he'll be expensive. And it's kind of like, is it worth the money? Or should you just pool it all and try and get Dybala? A 0-0. A 0-0 isn't great for either of us. I think it said that in the commentary. A 0-0 is better for us, no doubt. And to go into Turin and own 62% of the possession is decent. But you can see they played better than us. A clear-cut chance, 12 key passes. We only had 2. We created nothing but that long Matic shot. I think we'll just have to take that as one of those type of things. We'll take that as a positive, I guess. I will play this Leicester game offline, and then we'll come back for game 2, Derby Day, second Derby Day of the season when we play Ancelotti and company at home. All right, it's Derby Day. Before we get to that, we played the game in between against Leicester away in the FA Cup. We got beat pretty convincingly. It was 3-0 in the first half, and then we were able to scrape 2 back. I thought we had an outside chance at the end. I messed this game up because I thought that the City game in the Premier League I thought that last year was midweek, and then we were playing the City game on the Saturday. Screwed up. There was a week in between. Excuse me. Had I known that there was a week in between, I would have played a full-strength team because I feel like we could have gone all 3 trophies full tilt then. So that was just a mistake by me. Oh, God. That's Carlo spies, I think, trying to infect me before the game. Has to be. Good news, bad news. We have no Alexis Sanchez for today's game. That injury he picked up means he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. But we do get Ashley Young back, which is, I'd rather have Alexis Sanchez as a bigger gap from Rashford to Sanchez than it is Young to Valencia. This is a big game, clearly, not just because it's a derby. City have been much better since Carlo's come in. They're up to 8th in the league, which obviously looks terrible by their standards, but remember they were down as 16th, so Carlo's got them firing. I believe they're playing the 4-2-3-1. Yeah, 4-2-3-1. standard Carlo stuff. If we win this, there's going to be 10 games left to go in the season. If it's Derby weekend, so Liverpool are playing away against Everton tomorrow. If we can win this, and then they draw or lose against Everton, they are bottom of the league, but it's a derby. Then that should, I think, with 10 games to go and what would it be, 9 point lead or 7 point lead, we really should see that thing out. So this is huge. I mean, the rest of the teams, it's a gigantic gap we have. It's just that home form, really, that we talked about earlier, that's really put us beyond everyone. What do I say today? The fans is usually a good thing when it's a derby day, but most of these players don't come from. Do any of these players come from Manchester or even England? Jesse Lingard, Rashford. All right, it's not too terrible. I am going to say, let's do it for the fans. Yeah, confidence all around. I walk around the dressing room, telling these boys, I got faith in you, faith in you. None of them seem to think it's suspicious that I'm telling all of them that I have faith in them. I should pull Sean Dyche. I like Sean Dyche. Matic is captain. Yes, he always is, because our actual named captains are never in the team. That's why you've been asking me that question every game this season. Oh, Lingard, early chance. Arta. Oh, what a chance. 16 seconds in. Arta on the edge of the box. Let's go back to what I was saying earlier about Nemanja Matic, because I would like to get your thoughts below. This is an interesting one. Because I was going to go after Fabinho really hard, and if not Fabinho, another one of the halfbacks I've got earmarked. But he's been so good, hard to bend another one. He goes close. Because Matic has been so good, I'm thinking that I could redirect those funds into a world-class right wing-back, which I was not going to go after this year, or just pulling all that money to try and get that false nine type player with Dybala or Neymar or Messi or one of the world-class false nine type players. So it's a case of keeping Matic and redirecting the funds, or going right after the world-class Busquets type player and just trying to make sure next season that this little anchor in here, this three-man thing, is exactly what we want going into that third and final season. Because if we don't go after a world-class one of them, we don't go after a world-class forward necessarily, we could really beef up ourselves defensively, though we've been pretty damn good defensively. We conceded 3 goals at home all season. Not much. We haven't created much. They haven't created anything. We've had 2 sighters. This could be another one. One of those classic cliches of 2 good sides cancelling each other out. I think we've both just been pretty damn average. We haven't created anything. If anyone's going to score goals at Old Trafford this season in a cluster, it's going to be the City team. The firepower is ridiculous. That they're playing Fabian Delph in the middle of the midfield, so that's not too bad for us. What changes can we make in our really created nothing, but we've dominated the ball. This isn't the Pep City side, of course. This is Carlo's side. There's going to be a lot more quick transitions, a lot more counter-attacking type stuff, a lot more reliance on individual brilliance. De Bruyne is probably going to pop one in the top corner any second now. 75, we haven't created anything. I do not want to draw today. See, a draw is a decent result for them. Draw is not a good result for us. Let's bring on Mata, and can we do anything else? Berardi can come on. Those are really the 2 changes we make as game. Oh, Martial we can bring on. Martial would actually be a good choice. I could go attacking, but I don't want to leave us open to a Sterling, De Bruyne, Aguero counter-attack. Go on, boys. Okay. De Bruyne on the edge of the box. Fine. Silva. Martial with a good challenge. De Bruyne. Oh, God, he's going to stick it in the top bit. No, he finds Sterling. The finishing. The finishing is not good enough from Raheem Sterling, as always. City bring on Iago Aspas, who is now surplus to requirements now that Pep's left. I didn't check if he's got a new job yet, actually. Played 2 0-0 games. Not great for video content. Barely any highlights. And it's annoying because we've been hammering people in all the other games. But, I mean, these were 2 top class sides. So, 0-0. Did we create any no clear-cut chances? Those 2 games feel like the worst of what this tactic can be, which is the tiki-taka bullshit of just passings for passing's sake. Because otherwise, I mean, 2 0-0s on the game. There was a nice 3-2 game in between. Maybe I should have shown that in a triple header. I mean, we've just been hammering people otherwise. So I apologize for 2 0-0s. We'll be back for the second leg against Juventus. We'll play this tricky away game against Burnley. Hopefully, in those games, we'll see some goals. I guess it means the videos are shorter. That's good for everyone, I guess. All right, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, I'll speak to you next time.